Welcome to the channel, netizens. Go ahead and hit subscribe. That'll really help us in the algorithm. Ending income tax. We're just going to check out a short clip that kind of goes over what the plan is.
Major goals of the current Trump administration is to eliminate all federal income taxes for people making less than $150,000 per year. And this is according to Howard Lutnick, which is the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Now, if this was to actually happen, it would be undoubtedly a very popular move and probably have very positive ramifications for.
It would help a lot of poor people. Well, actually, most people, I feel like, get their taxes back that they pay, which is just a loan to the government. And so a lot of people use that chunk of money when they get it back to do big purchases. So it might not actually help the poor people because they're not financially literate and they won't actually do anything good with the money that they're not giving to the government.
Midterm elections. And that, in combination with all the news we have around tariffs and Doge, does lead me to believe that this is a serious goal they are at least working towards. But let's go ahead and break this down a little bit further to see the logistics behind such a move. Okay, so generally speaking, individual income taxes represent roughly half of all federal revenue. Other major sources are taxes on Social Security, Medicaid.
It's crazy to me that we tax Social Security um, and Medicare. So let me get this straight. Every week you take money out of my paycheck for Social Security. And then in 50 years, when I get the Social Security, which was taxes taken out of my check, you're then in turn going to tax it again? Interesting. And I think this is where people really have a problem with this system, and why we want to see, the destruction of USAID, so they don't have to take our money. They're taking our money and giving it to themselves, enriching their friends who run these nonprofit NGOs. And the American people are sick of getting scammed, and I hope that the scams end this term.
Care and corporate income taxes. Now, the thing that most people don't fully understand about this half of government revenue, the top 1% actually pay 40% of all federal income taxes.
Yeah, so the 1% are paying taxes, guys. Corporations, I don't think pay enough. 7% is not enough. And like individuals, I believe companies should be taxed before profits. So you and me, our paycheck is taxed as we earn it, right? But then corporations can spend as much of their profit as they want and then are only taxed on what's left over, and that's bullshit. That's where they take the money and they send it to other countries or they do stock buybacks. That's the scammy part of the system. And it's crazy to me, all the people, oh, make the rich people pay more. Dude, they already pay 40%. Like, didn't Elon pay like 5 billion in taxes last year or something like that? Something pretty crazy.
That number jumps all the way to 61% if you include the top 5% of earners. And the bottom 50%, half of federal income taxpayers, only pay 3% of the total collected income taxes. And for people making less than $150,000 per year, in total, they contribute 27% of all federal income tax.
So somehow we have to make up 30% of our revenue. Or we can eliminate 30% of the budget, which is wasteful scams, anyways, right?
The rest, 73%, aka the vast majority of federal income taxes, are paid by people making over $150,000 per year. That comes out to roughly $1.6 trillion, and people making less than $150,000 per year contribute a total of just under $600 billion in federal income taxes, which essentially.
So, about the amount of money we send to Ukraine, right? And the amount of money that we give out in quote unquote aid.
Means if we want to eliminate this burden from these taxpayers, then we have to compensate and propose a combination of spending cuts and other revenue sources that together can augment this figure. And this could be higher taxes on Social Security benefits and increase.
That's insane. Why would you tax Social Security benefits even more? The people who are getting Social Security more than likely are struggling to live on what they already have, and it should not be taxed anymore. Like I said earlier, Social Security is literally something that's already been taken out of your check as a tax. So how are you going to tax it again? It's like military paychecks too. A military paycheck is taxes, right? So then you tax the taxes. It's like, yo, dog, I heard you like taxes, so I put taxes in your taxes so you can have taxes with your taxes.
Increase in corporate income taxes. But
Yeah, that was a yo, dog meme, which most people wouldn't get unless you were on 4chan in like the early 2010s.
I think it's pretty clear that from the actions of the Trump administration, the two most probable ways that this deficit of $588 billion can be augmented is via a combination of tariffs and cost savings by DOGE, or the Department of Government Efficiency. Trump has already began to implement pretty sweeping tariff policies, and DOGE famously has a goal of cutting $2 trillion from the federal government. However, to reach this goal of $588 billion, DOGE would only need to save $300 billion, combined with only $288 billion in revenue from additional tariffs. These are
That does seem like a bit of a stretch, but let's try, man. It's not like Doge is removing anything that's actually important. The government is a parasite, and Doge is just trying to remove some of that parasite.
big numbers, but they do seem relatively feasible, especially considering how immensely popular the upside of this would be. And just in case you're wondering, to raise roughly $300 billion in additional revenue from tariffs, the overall effective tariff rate would need to be about 13%. And for Doge, here is a basic.
Honestly, that 13% doesn't even sound that bad. And most countries tax or tariff our products insanely high too, so why not tariff them back, right? Let me know what you guys think down below about removing income tax. Would you benefit from it? I personally would benefit from it. I think most of us would benefit from not having to pay income tax. But comment, like, subscribe, check out one of these other videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.